Joshua Wallin. Wilder against Parker, Dubois, Miller, on and on it goes. Lyndon Arthur, Simon rightly said, gets a hell of a chance that night, but he's up against a formidable boxer in Dimitri Bivol. Simon, before we take a couple of calls, and there are a whole bunch of messages coming in as we speak, what's your take on this? Do you think, Frank, do you think it's fair that Frank Warren comes in for any criticism regarding the who's who on this card?
Well, I don't really see how he can do. I don't really see, because he doesn't control Deontay Wilder and he doesn't control Anthony Joshua. So the fight that people are crying about is the fact they haven't seen Joshua versus Wilder, but that's not under Frank's jurisdiction. Neither one of those fighters is assigned to him.
I know, but answer me straight, Simon. You know the fight game. Genuinely, how many of these fights on this bill did fight fans want to see?
No, because they've got it steeped in their mindset, certain fight fans, that the only fights they want to see are the ones that they're going to be enthusiastic about, and I understand that. Look, I think it's okay. I'm not jumping up and down, but I think it's okay. I think all the names are in the room and you shuffle the pack. Yeah. So now what you've done is you put everybody in the same room, and these fighters are now fighting different fighters. All the names are in there besides Fury and Usyk that you would want to see. There's some great some great fighters in there. J.R. Patea at the cruiserweight division is some fighter, and Bivol versus Lyndon Arthur. Lyndon Arthur's come back after losing to Anthony Yard and rebuilt his career and deserves to be there, although some would say, like I just said, all his Christmases have come at once. I think the luckiest person in all of it, two lucky people in this is Joseph Parker and Jarrell Miller. Okay. Because Jarrell Miller, with due respect, is a bit of a bum that's been doped 3 or 4 times, and he's a lucky opportunity to be there. He's got lots to say for himself, and I do hope Daniel puts him to sleep.
Great question for you from Guy up in Newcastle. Is it Guy or Gary up in Newcastle? Jim, love the show. Thanks, Gary. I'd like to know who tops the bill, Joshua or Wilder?
Joshua.
Joshua tops the bill. Joshua Wallin will top the bill. What's your take on it? It's not Joshua Wilder, it's Joshua Wallin. It's Wilder Parker. It's Dubois Miller. It's Bivol Lyndon Arthur. It's on December the 23rd in Saudi Arabia. Is it an historic night for boxing? Let's hear from you now, Mohammed in Cardiff. Mohammed, what do you think of this?
First of all, I got to give it up to the show. Love the show. I listen to every day when I'm driving about on a job. Simon, I got to give it to you. You do know your boxing. I thought you were just a football man. But one thing I've got to say, it is a historic night for boxing. The good thing is now we've got Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren working together instead of snapping each other on social media. Got to give it to them. There's a lot of good fights. Jay, the cruiserweight guy, Jay, who beat Thompson a couple of weeks ago in Manchester. He looks a top boxer. Biloff and Arthur is a good matchup. But everybody wanted Joshua and Wilder to face each other. But at the moment, I don't think Joshua's head's in the right place. So Wilder would be a good experience. And Wilder and Parker, although Wilder's got the execution right hand, Parker might give him trouble, but Wilder would beat that.
Okay, so you're having it, Mohammed. You give it a thumbs up.
I give it a thumbs up, and I give it up to the Saudis for getting all these boxers in together, into the room, paying them well, because at the end of the day, these guys are risking their lives to entertain us. So I'm glad it happened. Good card, and hopefully we should have an amazing night. Let's just not hope the PPV is not £30 and
okay, yeah. Oh, we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that, Mohammed. Thank you for that. Here's Michael, who's an Arsenal fan who wants to throw his hat in the ring. What do you think, Michael? What do you think of it when you see the names on the bill on the night?
I think it's quite a good card in terms of there's a lot of people fighting on there.
Yeah, there's a butt coming,
which is good.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see why they haven't made the Wilder Joshua fight now, though.
Yeah, that's the one you want to see, is it?
That's the one we want to see, and I think what's going to probably happen is I think they're going to wait for the result of the Fury Usyk fight next year. That's probably going to be a rematch.
Yeah.
I think if there's a rematch in that fight, I think maybe 1 or 2 of the belts might be dropped. And that's
they're going to have to be, aren't they, Michael?
Yeah.
What will happen immediately is the IBF belt will be dropped. I think Anthony Joshua's aspirations is he wants to be 3-time champion of the world. So how he gets there is not dependent upon Wilder. It's dependent upon opportunity. And I think that's what his main goal in life is.
Yeah, Michael, listen, thanks for that. Simon in Dartford's not having it. Boxing in Saudi Arabia, the last few fights there have been utterly soulless. Saudi Arabia has been milked and making Warren loads of money and loads of money for average fights. They're just tagging fight fans along here. The kidding is on. Boxing is on life support. These shows will eventually kill it off. That's quite harsh, isn't it?
It's a bit silly, but isn't it? I mean, you've got auditoriums being filled around the country when you've got domestic fights that don't have world titles or don't have any titles. You see Liam Smith and Chris Eubank fill auditoriums. You know, boxing is not on life support. And people are complaining about no heavyweight fights. OK, the pack needs to be shuffled a bit better, but the pack is now on the table.
Yeah.
It's all in one environment.
But you say the Saudi Pro League soulless.
Well, I think it is.
Yeah.
And no, I didn't say it's soulless. I said I pushed back against the argument that you suggest that it's going to be this all-encompassing force that everyone needs to be terrified of. The point is, in this instance, the Saudis. I don't have any empathy for the Saudis if they're being built for money. They're the ones that want to have these events. They're the ones that want to create the sporting landscape to fulfil their own opportunities.
What should we pay to watch it? Final one here from Paul in East Grinstead, who's a Liverpool fan. Morning, Jim. Thanks for the great show you and Simon bring us every morning. Well, that's great. Thanks. Good of you to say that. Can you confirm a price for us? What's it going to cost us on December the 23rd? Is it going to be extortionate? What are we looking at? What do you think the price point would be?
It depends who's broadcasting. At this moment in time, we haven't seen a broadcast partner. Who's carrying the product? Is DAZN carrying it? Are TNT carrying it? Who's carrying it? So we don't know at this moment in time, and no doubt Frank will tell us, and whoever's organising the structure behind the fight will tell us. I mean, let's have it right. The Saudis probably lost about 100 million quid on the putting on the Francis Ngannou, Tyson Fury stuff. And they're not really motivated right now by huge amounts of return. Of course, they don't want to lose money. They're trying to create a platform to leap off. And these sort of events, whether we think it should be Joshua versus Wilder, you've got fights of heavyweight recognisable names, and that's what you wanted. And eventually, everyone will get what they want. Just be a bit more patient, I suspect.